Hey everyone, it's Doug Forbes, co-founder of Meow Meow Foundation and co-producer of Roxie's Wish, Drowning Prevention Week for Children.
I am Elena Mattias, also co-founder of Meow Meow Foundation and co-producer of Roxie's Wish.
Welcome to our week. Welcome to Roxie's Wish Week. We're extremely honored and excited. We're honored that you have joined us for such a special week, and we're really excited to share incredible information, wonderful stories from a wide range of people across the nation with you.
We're opening up the week here at the Boys and Girls Club of Pasadena. And we chose this location because the Boys and Girls Club is a wonderful facility open to boys and girls of all walks of life, all sizes, shapes, and colors. And that's what Roxie would want.
Roxie's wish was to spread love wherever she went, and the Boys and Girls Club of Pasadena certainly does just that. We are kicking off this night at the Boys and Girls Club because they serve such a diverse community, and this opening night is about diversity, equity, and inclusion in aquatics.
Roxie's love was unconditional. She would want every child to be afforded every chance and every opportunity to learn to swim and to live a safe and happy life.
And as you can see, behind us is this lovely pool at the Boys and Girls Club. And so many children have learned to swim right here in this water behind us. And they take that incredible asset throughout their life, not only as a drowning prevention skill, but also as a health and wellness component in their lives.
We are so impressed with the operation here at the Boys and Girls Club, and we have been working on a pretty special partnership to bring together some amazing aquatics experts and the Boys and Girls Club.
We're going to kick this event off with some really exciting news. For some months now, we've been speaking with the Michael Phelps Foundation and seeing if we could somehow establish a partnership with them. And what we've devised is that we are going to donate an IM program to this very facility.
The Michael Phelps Foundation offers not only swim lessons, but they teach children how to be healthy all around. Their IM program includes I am fun, I am safe, I am healthy, I am fast.
Growing up, I always had a goal of changing the sport of swimming and taking it to a new level. But another one of my passions is working with kids. It's been something that has put a smile on my face, a genuine smile, every single time I'm in front of children. Being able to start a foundation in 2008 after the Olympics and trying to promote healthy and active lifestyles for children, I think it's something that's very important.
When you take a look at the IM program and you look at the safety feature first, one thing that should never occur is a child should never drown. And they have to have that safety in the water. And being able to prevent drowning is something that Michael is very a strong advocate for. 75% of children, it's the first time they've been in the water, and they feel good about it.
The partnership between Michael Phelps Foundation and the Boys and Girls Clubs of America is a tremendous one. We've really ramped it up in the last few years with the IM program. The Michael Phelps Foundation, with the support of Michael and his family and all the people that he works with, they help provide resources to give to our Boys and Girls Clubs around the country.
We partnered with Michael, the IM program and his foundation, and it was a way to bring his love and his passion for the sport of swimming into the Special Olympics movement.
cool is that? That is a well-rounded program for sure. And guess what? There are going to be 50 kids learning that cool program right here in this pool. We cannot wait to see how that all turns out this year. And honestly, we're going to follow it very closely. And if we can, we're going to document it to share it with all of you. Beyond tonight, we have so many different items to talk about, whether that be, what, Elena? Swim lessons and water safety, and what else do we have?
Lifeguarding, barriers, the layers of protection that are necessary to keep children safe around water, advocacy efforts, partnerships.
Yeah, it's going to be a head full. We're going to need a long vacation after this, but we can't take that much of a long vacation because the swim season is about to kick in. This is later May, and as we all know, people are ready and itching to hop in pools and waterfronts all across the nation and the world. So we have to look forward to that and be excited about that, but we have to be also extremely, extremely vigilant after this extraordinarily difficult year, so where distractions have really ruled our lives. So we are going to dish out all of this information for you to not only apply this year, but for years to come.
We thank you for joining us during this very important week. We are so appreciative to Assemblymember Holden and his wonderful staff for helping us make this a reality. Our resolution was signed in and we are official.
And what's the name of that resolution?
Roxie's Wish, Drowning Prevention Week for Children.
That means forever and ever and ever. Roxie is going to exist in the state of California, certainly in our hearts and minds, but also in law. So every third week of May in the state of California will be celebrated as Roxie's Wish, Drowning Prevention Week for Children. And we also have something else on the legislative calendar, don't we?
We do. We are waiting for our bill, which will afford over 6 million California children protections of a comprehensive drowning prevention policy, which will be implemented throughout all schools in California.
My name is Chris Holden, and I'm the California Assembly member representing the 41st District from Pasadena in the west to parts of Rancho Cucamonga in the east. Public awareness and education are the most powerful tools for eliminating preventable drowning. That is why I authored Assembly Concurrent Resolution 39, which declares the third week of May Roxie's Wish, Drowning Prevention Week for Children. California ranks third in the United States for the most drownings and is one of the top causes of preventable death for children. I'm proud to partner with the Meow Meow Foundation and sponsorship of Assembly Bill 768, legislation that ensures the California Department of Education and schools are equipped with the best drowning prevention resources. This bill combines experts with state government officials to create a model policy that can be easily implemented by schools. Thank you to the Forbes family for your heart and compassion to bring awareness to the issue. I look forward to working with my colleagues in the legislature to continue to create policies that can help save lives and to see this bill come to pass.
Hi, I'm State Senator Anthony Portantino. You can see I'm standing by my pool. You can also see that my pool has a gate all the way around, making it safe. Unfortunately, the lack of pool safety has claimed far too many children. We know what it's done in our own backyard to the beloved Roxie. We can't let pool safety or the lack of pool safety claim any more children. And so please, let's rally behind every effort to make pool safety a priority, not just for California, but across the country, and not just in the 25th Senate District, but across California. So I urge everybody to think about how secure and safe their own pool is, to make sure that there's supervision throughout summer camps, through when you send your kid off to someone else's care. We need to make sure that kids are safe. And so I'm just joining this effort on this week of encouraging pool safety, and wish everybody well. Thank you.
Today, trouble under a noon sun. Negroes and white rabbis marched to a segregated hotel, were met by the manager with these results.
Now let us have prayer at this place.
Look here.
Let us have prayer for the manager of this place.
You're not having
Let
any
us
prayer
have prayer
here.
also.
You're not having any prayer here. You're on private property and you're
deliver the prayer.
you're on private property and I'm ordering you to leave here. You're on private property and I'm ordering you to leave this place here. Reverend Martin Luther King watched from across the street. He had been arrested last week at the same motel.
Oh, God bless him.
You're on private property. You go too. And at the motel, 2 white men had registered as guests. Another group of Negroes showed up and, as you see, were turned away. But the white men had invited other Negroes to be their guests in the swimming pool.
Now, we've all heard the worn-out, tired stereotype that black folks can't swim. But unfortunately, that cliche is based in haunting truths. A 2017 study showed that 64% of black kids have no or low swimming ability versus 45% of Latinx children and 40% of white kids. But the fact that black folks don't swim isn't because we don't want to mess up our hair, nor is it because our bones are too dense or that we just don't float. Here's the thing, black folks weren't always thought to be non-swimmers. Before American slavery, some Africans, especially those in coastal regions, had a positive relationship with swimming. Some were divers, harvesting pearls, searching for gold, and hunting food, while others swam recreationally and, well, to get around. From 1492 up until the 19th century, people of African descent could often swim better than Europeans and their descendants. But even the most fierce swimmers were no match for the horrors of the transatlantic slave trade. In the early Americas, it was also documented that the enslaved were in some cases responsible for saving their non-swimming masters. But some slave owners saw swimming as a threat because swimming could mean a path to freedom. That fear of black independence eventually infiltrated practically every aspect of American society. As you all are well aware, there were actual laws policing black people's existence, including when and where black folks could swim. By the 1920s, Jim Crow laws were in full effect and public swimming facilities became segregated by race. This institutional racism and segregation didn't stop at pools. It included beaches, lakefronts. Black swimmers were often harassed and faced with violence, which just reinforced segregation. Randall Jelks is an award-winning history professor at the University of Kansas. The professor grew up during the Jim Crow era, and Jelks knows about the racist history of swimming all too well.
The perception of sexuality, that this is our space, the water belongs to us, where we don't share a democratic space for everybody to use waters and facilities and pools, and where we rub against each other, our wet bodies touch each other, and so forth.
Want to hear another racist lie? Black folks were disease-ridden and flat out dirty.
If black kids jumped in it, there would be a pool of ink, and white kids jumped in, they would come out brown. You know, it was the silliest thing, but those were the realities.
Manager, well, how would you like to handle this inappropriately?
You had no right to do what you did.
I simply asked them if they showered.
Okay, we have our general manager coming up here.
People,
okay.
Because that's part of the rules. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired of getting in the pools and people consider bass horses.
But you didn't ask anyone else. You didn't ask anyone else. You asked me if I showered.
You're the only one in the pool.
There's plenty of people over there in the pool.
You're the only one in the pool.
There are 3 other people over there. There's 3 other people over there. You didn't ask them. They're right over there right now. They've been over there. When you asked me, they were there.
Relax.
I don't have to relax.
Why not?
Be quiet, Carlita. Be quiet.
Why
I understand the way you feel. I think it was inappropriate. It was not.
I apologize.
You had no business.
It's everybody's business when there's
We
dirty
travel all the time.
Google it. Google the diseases in pools.
We travel. You didn't take her upstairs. Take her upstairs so she don't hear all of this.
Yeah, because it's
It's only a shower, young lady, don't worry. Stop at the manager of the hotel. In 2 seconds, you're calling the police.
I want to
Please, listen, I apologize. I don't know what's going on, but sir, I need you to leave. Of course. Please, thank you very much. Ladies over here.
You don't know who he is.
Ladies over here, please.
You don't know who
Ma'am?
he is, and you letting him leave what he did?
Ma'am, please let me talk to you over here, because I don't want to call the police. And if I do, it's going to be a big headache for everybody.
After desegregation did its thing, one would think that black people gained equal access to public pools. But y'all know America better than that. It wasn't that simple. While black swimmers could, in theory, use all public pools, many of them, particularly in southern cities, closed or were allowed to crumble as a response to the new laws. And after desegregation, the white folks began to use private and backyard pools. So what are some of the implications of these laws?
The number of children who don't know how to swim is astounding in black communities, but that's access to pools, access to instruction, seeing people look like them being lifeguards. All of those things are affected.
The link between not knowing how to swim and drowning is undeniable. With all that in mind, I bet you could guess which kids have the highest risk of drowning. A 2014 study found that black children between the ages of 5 and 19 were 5.5 times more likely to drown in swimming pools than white kids the same age. And water isn't the only threat.
I don't know her, and she's asking where I live. Why do I need to give this lady who I don't know my address?
There is a sign that says that I can ask for anybody to leave.
But for what? I showed you my key. I showed you my key. You're gonna take my key out of my hand now? All right, well, you're gonna give me another one.
How's that feel? Get out! Get out! Get out now! There's 3 numbers I can dial. 911. Okay?
Yeah, right.
Get out. Little punks.
Good evening. I'm Ebony Roseman, the founder and executive director of Black Kids Swim. We are so excited to be here this evening with the Meow Meow Foundation, Howard University, Maritza McClendon, and many others to promote the importance of diversity and inclusion in the sport of competitive swimming. Black Kids Swim was founded to increase Black participation in competitive swimming. Our children have the talent, the love, and the ability to excel in this sport. Unfortunately, we are all but absent at the club, collegiate, and Olympic levels, and our organization fights every day to change that. We offer motivation, connections, and events to bring Black kids into the sport, and once they get here, to make them joyful about staying. The video you are about to watch is a personal favorite of mine. It's a part of our Love This Sport campaign called Training Day. The video features some of the best and brightest young Black swimmers in the sport, and I hope you will enjoy it as much as we do. I also hope you'll visit us soon at blackkidswim.com. What is your greatest fear? To compete against athletes taller, stronger, faster, better? You can't afford to waste time on fear.
One more.
Fear takes your heart. Leave fear for the other kids. The kids that still need alarm clocks to wake up at 5 a.m. Leave fear for the kids that skip early morning workouts and settle for good enough. Leave fear for the kids who get out of the pool when practice is over. Fear is their problem, not yours, not you. You're focused on something greater, something stronger, something pure and all-powerful that holds you up when your muscles are about to give up. You hold the knowledge that your wildest dreams are just the beginning of your capability. You've already proven that exhaustion just doesn't apply to you. And you're willing to do one more rep, one more set, one more lap than any other kid, because you know what victory requires. It's more than hard work and repetition. It's more than simple desire and dedication. Victory requires love. Love doesn't get tired. Love doesn't know how to quit. And love never fails.
Everything flows from the start.
Well, Maritza hits the pool now, the freshman.
I was a natural freestyler, but to reach the next level, I needed to improve off the block. So I worked towards it, and in time, I found my rhythm.
Just before I step up on the block, I touch my toes and encourage myself to do my best. Do your best.
I found a rhythm when I was 7 years old. Diagnosed with scoliosis, I was told swimming would help overcome it. That was my start.
Climb up on the block. Focus on the task ahead. Stagger your feet, then let yourself hang and relax.
Relax. I didn't forge a championship career by relaxing. I dove in.
Karaya taking it to the field right now.
And emerged an NCAA champion.
Here comes Karaya to the wall.
All-American. And the first African-American woman to make the U.S. Olympic swim team.
This is the calm before the storm. Grip the block and ready yourself to launch into the water when the moment comes.
I love the moment. I've created and conquered moments my entire life.
Now here comes Maritza. Karaya, stroke for stroke. Karaya!
The moment I broke a world record.
This could be something very special. The record.
The moment I failed to become an Olympian. The moment I became an Olympian. The moment I knew I could inspire Black youth all across America. Because when they look at me, they see themselves and know their future is limitless.
And that's how you start off the block. What are you working towards?
Hi, I'm Maritza McClendon, 2004 Olympic silver medalist and first Black female to make a U.S. Olympic swim team. At a young age, I was diagnosed with a medical condition, and water became my remedy. Little did I know what a major part water would play in my life. It taught me resilience and determination, and at the end of the day, I broke barriers with an Olympic silver medal. My journey was filled with a lot of ups and downs, and even moments when people said, "Who's this little Black girl on the pool deck? And can she swim?" Did you know that 64% of African American children don't know how to swim? If your parents don't know how to swim, there's only a 13% chance that you will learn how to swim. As someone who broke barriers, I knew things had to change. I make sure that I travel the country and go right into the communities who need me the most. I share my story, educate them with the statistics, and not only do we talk about it, but we get in the water and do something about it. I try to give people an introduction about learning how to swim, and so that they can take what they've learned that day with me and make it a life journey to learn how to swim. I love the water. It's one of my favorite things to be around, but everybody needs to learn how to be safe in and around the water. The best way to do that? Get in and learn how to swim. Get formal swim lessons. I want to encourage every one of you out there to make sure that that's exactly what you're doing. I'm pretty sure if you know how to swim, fantastic. But I guarantee you, you know somebody who doesn't. So bring those people along Tell them the importance about why you need to learn how to swim and get them in the water. Thank you so much for having me.
And that was the last time, baby. We back and 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 we back. And that was the last time. Get up!
I'm Nic Askew. I'm the director of men's and women's tennis, as well as the director of men's and women's swimming and diving at Howard University. I'm an alum of Howard University, a proud alum, and during that time, I swam and played tennis all 4 years. Having a public park only a block away from my home, I really gravitated to the two sports that were the biggest in that public park, which were both swimming and tennis. Swimming was really my daycare. I had two older brothers who were my role models, and when it was time for them to go to swim practice or even to work as a lifeguard at the neighborhood pool, I followed right behind them, and the pool became my daycare.
Actually, an uncle-in-law who was a recreational lifeguard at the community pool. And it was his mission to ensure that all students and children and youth in the Black community swam. Maybe it was around 4 or 5 that he just literally took pretty drastic these days measures to make sure we swam. So he would take us down to the community pool, no matter who it was in our family, and literally just throw us in and say, go for it. We all learned to swim. We did, I mean, I think it was his mission because he realized how impactful drowning was in our communities.
Have either of you had a personal experience with drowning?
Yes. So I've had the unfortunate experience twice in my life now of really close families and friends. One of my sorority sisters, Tori Como, her son, drowned at the age, I think he was about 7 years old, in the backyard pool. And it's impactful because the lessons that my uncle taught me very early on, and the importance of swimming, we kind of looked at it as recreational, but it's actually survival. I kind of took for granted that I could swim all my life, but then you realize when it hits home. So I had the unfortunate experience as well to go through it with you all. Once I met Roxie, full of life, one of the most authentic children I could have ever encountered. And you realize you can't take anything for granted.
It's actually interesting, Alicia, the first person in family that popped in my mind, your line sister Tori, was also my classmate. And that's what immediately I started thinking of. So when you said it, I was like, oh my God, like that's, again, you know, just how the circles are so closely connected and how, you know, this can be so close to home for so many people.
Latinx and African-American children drown at rates 5 times that of Caucasian children. In our research, that has a lot to do with what we're really discussing on this opening night of this event, which is inclusion and access
or lack thereof?
I think Howard University particularly thought about access and the need and the impact of drowning on African Americans very early on in its tenure, because it started to actually have a requirement for all students who matriculated to the school, the university, to actually take a swim course and then have to actually pass, because each generation teaches the next.
It's still a requirement now. Unfortunately, some of the colleges and schools at Howard have dropped it as a prerequisite for graduation, as a requirement. But the College of Arts and Sciences is one of the schools that still requires it, and it was put in place by a Black doctor, Dr. Snowden, actually, who came to Howard as a professor, and it was a requirement at Harvard. And essentially he said, if it's required at Harvard, it should be required at Howard. I've been really happy to work with the U.S. Swimming Foundation. We've had Olympians like Cullen Jones and Maritza McClendon come to Howard and do clinics at Howard, because I honestly think, and the statistics will also confirm it, that the early access and the first experience are crucial to learning how to swim. I often talk in these type of forums about how when I was growing up and I saw pools, even in my neighborhood pool, and I looked from the outside looking in, I didn't really see people that looked like me. So therefore, in my mind, it wasn't a place that I should be.
One of the things that we want to do is kind of pave a way forward for more Black lifeguards, more Black swim instructors around here, and so that, yes, you can see a reflection of yourself in the pool.
Alicia touched on something that we've been trying to change the mindset, where swimming is not just about recreation. As you said, it's a life skill.
So I think sometimes too, we don't think about access to even the things that are public spaces. So if I live in South Central, I may not have the transportation to be able to get to Santa Monica or get to some of those beaches. There's not the public access, meaning the bus. It would take me like 2 days essentially on that bus route to get from point A to point B.
Did either of you ever personally experience any discrimination in this particular arena? I see both of you smiling immediately asking that question. So that would be a yes, but who wants to start on this one?
I'll start on this one. We don't have enough time to list out the number of times, the subtle and the blatant just acts of racism. We've been on travel and we've been in at hotels, and I literally have to, every single time, I have to tell my team, don't do X, Y, and Z. We can't make simple mistakes that are going to lead to, ridiculous outcomes, because we've had the police called on us. And I've actually had to sit down as calmly as I can and say, no, sir, no, ma'am, that is not factual, because I've actually sat in a chair in the hallway where my student athletes are since 11 p.m. till 4 a.m. as a coach, to then have to go and coach on the deck the next day.
I knew that I had at least 1 or 2 friends on the team wherever we went, so that I wasn't the only one or feeling alone, because not only were we experiencing racism back in the 80s in the areas or towns we traveled in, we experienced it on the team. Not every team member's parents were progressive. Where these venues are, they're in neighborhoods who may not be as diverse. That's where the pools are. It's a part of our lives, just growing up being Black. And it's even worse because we just entered a space that was coveted and not diverse.
What is the messaging? Is it just this? Is it just doing this more? Having these conversations? Is it having town halls about this? What do we do, And again, we're white people, so, we already have that privilege of kind of arranging the town hall, but Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just kind of motioning. It's, when you're taking a test and you have A, B, C, D, and D is usually all of the above, it's all of the above. Back to, I think it was one of the original questions we started with, but my idea is we have, just as Black people were broken from being in the water, we need to now break that same cycle. And I think one of the keys is going into our schools more, right? That's where you have direct contact with, millions of children.
Our foundation just introduced a bill in the state of California. So it would require schools to just simply provide drowning information, drowning prevention policy. So as it's a step, it's a baby step.
We've looked at legislation around the country, and every single time or somebody wants to mandate drowning prevention curriculum, gets shot down in school systems, just gets shot down. Oh, we can't add to teachers' plates. But then, you know what happens when there's an empty desk that September? It's very, very frustrating. So we're taking this baby step, as Elena said, to say, all right, let's develop policy for public school kids, and we'll avail resources through the Department of Education in California. And if that flies, then we're going to go to every damn state in the nation and take this model policy and populate it in every state until we have to make this a federal mandate.
That's phenomenal policy and legislation that needs to go through. It's as simple as that, in my opinion. And obviously, to get it to get pushed through, then we've got to do the heavy lifting to do it. And I think one of the things is also to bring on board, the national governing body, right? Bringing on board the U.S. Swimming. For me, having children, it's worth it. Right? It is absolutely worth it. Not one more life needs to be lost because we look at it as being an extra task.
And we'll remember that when we come looking for your signature.
That's easy. That's easily done. I'm interested in what else can we do.
We want to be inclusive, and we want to ensure that we are representing all voices and including all voices. How can we do better?
I see a lot of what's happening now, sort of with the social justice conversations and sort of this reckoning. Doug, you had asked earlier, how can Meow Meow, is it more conversations? Yes, it is. It's definitely more conversations, but it's also more listening. The best ideas are not going to come from the leaders. It's actually going to come from the people who you're trying to serve. So it has to become a personal issue as opposed to just big policy. And the way big policy actually happens is all the people start to speak. And the people in this instance, in my opinion, are the parents and the students.
The imagery that I always think of is, what child doesn't want to play in the water? Having that safe space, obviously, to be able to express themselves and have a great time amongst all kinds of different people.
Yeah, both of you, amazing. And it really helps us to grow our foundation the way we should be growing it, fairly, equitably.
Nic, thank you so much for jumping on. I know I reached out kind of randomly, but much love, Howard.
Absolutely. When a fellow alum, especially a fellow teammate, reaches out, you got to make a way. So it was easy to do, glad to do it. And again, for such an amazing organization as Meow Meow, it's very well worth it. This is something that I'm passionate about personally, and that our alma mater, our swimming and diving program, is really passionate about. And thank you guys for having me. I really do appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Anu.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Noah. I'm Kieran. We're a family at San Rafael Elementary School, where Roxie and Kieran were in Maestra Elva's kindergarten class together. That very summer after kindergarten, we collectively mourned the tragic and unbelievable loss of this beautiful and vibrant child. Our heartbreak turned into outrage when we found out that Roxie's death was completely preventable, and it was a wake-up call to us parents that this could have happened to any of our children. As members of Roxie's community, we are committed to helping Doug and Elena fight for water safety and to hold our public and private child care facilities accountable for keeping every child safe. Roxie, you will forever be in our hearts, and as Kieran says, you will always be remembered by your superpowers of always being happy, nice, and funny. Here's a picture that Kieran drew for Roxie. Roxie, we won't let you down.
Hello, my name is Arkisha Reese, founder of Team Kareem Memorial Foundation, also mother of Kareem, Angel Green. I lost Kareem due to drowning at the age of 5. He went on his first field trip, and it turned out to be his last field trip to water. One thing that I would say to parents and everyone else, always ask questions. I assumed that Kareem will be safe. I assumed that they would have the ratio. I assumed that lifeguard would be on duty. None of this took place. It's been a nightmare, and it continued to be a nightmare. I don't want no other parent to go through what I'm going through. Maybe you can see the shirt that I'm wearing is Team Kareem water safety shirt. And water do matter. You have to respect the water. Drowning happens in a blink of an eye, as you can see. That's the little dinosaur logo because he loved dinosaurs. And then also over here I have C. That stands for supervision, education, and environment. That's what I believe in. Attentive supervision, but you also have to have layers and barriers. It's the water watcher tag that I also give out and educate. This water watcher tag is basically instructions explaining what to do while you're wearing this, and you're pledging to be safe around the water. Anybody that's have on the water watcher tag basically is dedicated to watching the child in the water. If they need to step away, they will give it to the next adult, and at all times will know who's watching your child. So please, whoever is watching this, don't let my story be your story.
Keep an eye on Lia Neal on lane number 5. The only other swimmer to break 55. She is definitely one to watch this summer in Omaha. Another one of those youngsters that could make some noise. 26-1. Lia Neal kind of glided into that wall, but had a pretty good push off.
It's a good finish right in the middle. Hardy up top, Neal in the middle, Coughlin at the bottom. And coming to the wall, and the touch is Lia Neal. How about that? Lia Neal, a 17-year-old.
And the fans of the Stanford Cardinals, they know it. Their team is going to be the champion for the first time since 1998. In lane 5, Emmanuel Ledecky, Hu, and Neal. As you have a look at Katie Ledecky, that quartet combined for 12 medals, 6 of them gold in their Olympic careers. And Lia Neal, a senior, her final collegiate swim, and she hits the water.
What a good feeling this is, to know you've got that full body link. Lia Neal was 4th in the individual 100 free. It was her best time ever, 46.7. Really just had an amazing career.
But this is about Lia Neal and Stanford, 3:08.51, the record to break.
They did it!
3:07.61. An NCAA and American record.
Great to have a hometown hero. You know, Lia was just incredible in London. She swam the leg of the 4x100 in a spectacular 54.56 seconds, a personal best. But I don't think anybody is surprised with her success. Why wouldn't a world-class Olympian hail from the world's greatest city?
Thank you so much. This is kind of overwhelming, but for all the best reasons. I'm just so lucky to have all of your support.
Hello, this is Lia Neal, 2-time Olympian, here to let you know that drowning in communities of color is a serious issue. Did you know that drowning is actually the leading cause of injury-related deaths for kids ages 1 to 4 and second for those ages 5 to 14? When parents have no to low swimming skills, it has a major trickle-down effect to their children. African American children ages 11 to 12 are 10 times more likely to drown than their white counterparts. Drowning is preventable, and swimming is a life-saving skill. Now, especially with the weather getting warmer again and pools opening up, it is imperative that children learn to swim through waterproofing programs at local community centers. Roxie's Wish, a drowning prevention week initiative, is bringing awareness through this event so that childhood drownings are a thing of the past. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Shazak Sonoda and I'm the founder of No More Under, a water safety and drowning prevention organization based in Washington State. And I became familiar with Doug and Elena while searching for other parents who have gone through a similar tragedy of losing a child. My son Yori drowned a little under 2 years ago now. Roxie's death, she was at camp. I'm here to say that it can happen to anyone. It can happen to any parent who is there with their child, any parent that is without their child. I think the biggest thing to remember is that it's so critical we have our eyes on our children, and just to remember that as fun as water can be, it can also be very dangerous and deadly. And so I want everyone out there to have an amazing summer and be swimming and enjoying the water, but doing it safely and doing it with our eyes focused where they need to be. Thank you so much for having me during this special week.
Hi, my name is James Bernardos and I'm the branch director for the Boys and Girls Club in Pasadena Slavic branch. I've been with the club now for about 15 years and I originally got my start here as the aquatics director, where I taught swim lessons, coached swim team, and lifeguarded during recreation swimming. Through our program, we served hundreds of youth from Pasadena, Altadena, and Sierra Madre. When we open our pools, we always keep safety as our #1 priority. All of our staff are certified and kept up to date with their certifications. We also know that for youth, the leading cause of injury death, ages 1 to 14, is drowning. And the best way to combat that is through water safety and instruction. Oftentimes when our kids come to the club, this is their first time in the club. So we want to make sure that we can provide a safe place for them and the proper necessary instructions to continue doing that.
Hi, my name is Janelle Atkinson and I am a 2-time Olympian from Jamaica. I competed in the 2000 and 2004 games and finished as high as 4th place in the 400 freestyle. What started off as my parents wanting myself and my siblings to be safe around water because we had a pool in the backyard morphed into me becoming one of the best in the world. It's not something that either of us planned for, but I'm grateful and thankful for the opportunities that opened for me. Once I retired from swimming, I got into coaching and coached collegiately for 12 years. Now I'm a huge advocate for water safety, especially in the Caribbean where I'm from. Drowning prevention is something that's important to me because that's how I got into the sport. It opened up so many opportunities for me that I don't think I would have had otherwise. Drowning is also the leading cause of accidental death in the world, and it is something that is so easily preventable by just giving access and giving children and adults really an opportunity to understand the safety features of water as well as the dangers of water.
Roxie's Wish Drowning Prevention Week for Children is kicking off with the International Water Safety Day.
It's celebrating drowning prevention and water safety programming from here throughout the entire globe. And these folks, including Dr. Tiffany Quash, have done yeoman's and yeowoman's work to pull this together and share both socially and visually how important it is to spread this word throughout the world.
We're fortunate to have the Executive Director of Diversity in Aquatics here tonight, Miriam Lynch, as well as Tiffany Quash, our favorite Black Mermaid.
Take it away, ladies.
Hey everybody, and hello Meow Meow Foundation. I'm Dr. Tiffany Monique Quash with the International Water Safety Foundation with...
Hey everybody, my name is Miriam Lynch and I'm the Executive Director for Diversity in Aquatics.
And we are so excited to be here with you, and most importantly, talking about a solution to combating the drowning pandemic. And part of that solution is joining our organizations, the International Water Safety Foundation and Diversity in Aquatics. So Miriam, can you tell us a little bit about Diversity in Aquatics?
Yeah, thank you, Tiffany, Dr. Quash. Diversity in Aquatics is an organization, a network that promotes water safety, that supports other networks that are doing it, and also promotes the opportunities in aquatics. The way that we do it is our lens is to look at and to address communities who have been marginalized in this space. And so for us, we do it, we have 7 different aquatic councils that address different aquatic areas such as scuba, triathlons, swimming, and more. And then we are governed by a board of 9 individuals, such as Olympians, such as Colin Jones, Maritza, and researchers such as Dr. Jackson, and those who are practitioners in the field like Tara Eggleston. We have over 2,000 members worldwide that are a part of that mission.
So it's really great to be a part of Diversity in Aquatics for me, not only as a member, but also for me to serve in the role of Director of Operations here with the International Water Safety Foundation. One of the 2 things that we do here with the International Water Safety Foundation is we really tackle the drowning pandemic by discussing those land-based water safety education initiatives. By working with Diversity in Aquatics, the International Water Safety Foundation is really able to help push the initiatives of Diversity in Aquatics internationally, and through opportunities such as the Treadathon. So any Treadathon that we have, we're able to raise funds through treading water and raising awareness about water safety education. Right now, we have the world's largest tread, which we're always going to have on May 15th. And from September until December, we have something called the Social Justice Tread, which we work with Diversity in Aquatics to really promote social equity and equality and inclusion, but most importantly, talking about the disparity, the racial disparity associated with aquatics and drowning. So here we've got 2 great organizations, if I can say so myself, where we get to talk about the solution. So I really would love to see people come and join International Water Safety Foundation and
Diversity in Aquatics. Join in.
And we would love to see you come out anytime, anywhere. Thanks so much and take care.